This is another episode of me documenting the day-to-day process that I'm taking to achieve long-term consistency in the financial market. Today's a small red day, which is good because I got the bias absolutely incorrect and I held it at one losing trade. Typically, when I get the bias correct, I take two losing trades. I go 0 and 2, and that's how the session goes. Today, I take a loss. I see that I'm wrong, and I'm done in the first half hour market open. So I know a lot of things are shifting for me right now. I'm about to take a job at a BMW dealership, and that's kind of already taking the pressure off my trading. Like I don't want to be sitting in front of these screens for 12 hours a day, all day, every day, as I have in the past. I'm going to try something different, try something new. And I think by doing less on my trading, the more I will get from it. Because this game is a paradox. It's a mind fuck. It really is. Everything is the opposite. Everything that you should be doing, it's probably the opposite is what you should actually be doing. And that's what I'm learning almost 3 years in. So, what I want to do for maybe the next 3 to 6 months is literally just show up to the session and do what I know is my model, review the session, do a market review, make a YouTube video, and that's it. And then work at the dealership on the side, dabble into my other passion, cars, and I think that'll help my trading a lot. And then eventually I can take trading full time once I actually start making money off of this. But that seems to be the plan right now. I just got out of a 6 year relationship. I moved to an entirely different state with absolutely no money. And I'm sleeping on the couch. You can literally see my bed behind me. So, one thing that I want to say is be somebody. And by that, I mean write your own story and make it fucking crazy. It's been almost 3 years and I still have not made this shit work. My story just keeps getting crazier and crazier and crazier. I'm driving on the road today. I'm thinking about, everything that I've been through. I'm like, damn, I got a crazy ass story. That's awesome. When I make it, I can look back on all this, look at all the shit that I've went through, and it's all here documented in YouTube format. I can go back to each specific point of my journey, look back and be like, damn, that's what I had to go through to get to where I am. And I promise you that everything you go through is exactly what you need to go through to become the man who you want to become. So I'm looking at this entire situation as, well, it really is a canon event, but it's sharpening my character. I'm learning a lot about myself that I would not have known otherwise if I did not go through this breakup, if I did not move to an entirely different state. My eyes being open to so many different things, so much change is going on in my life right now, but I know it's all for the better. It has to be. Every failure with it, every failure carries with it an equivalency to success. If something bad happens to you, something good has to come from it. And really believe that because it's true. If you have losing trades, there's a lesson you can take from that. Therefore, that failure carried with it an equivalency to success because maybe that losing trade that you had, that one day where you went on tilt and blew up all your accounts, was exactly what you needed to snap you into the form and to become the trader that you know you need to be. So, there's a rhyme and a reason behind everything, and I believe that. So, if you take a step back and you do some reflection, that's what I'm doing right now because obviously my life is fucking crazy right now. Just hit a whole full 180. Everything has changed. Nothing is the same. Literally nothing is the same besides, well, I guess what I do on a day-to-day basis. Still eat the same food, still trade. You could call that the same. Still go to the gym consistently. That's all the same. But a lot has fucking changed. And I'm taking a step back and I'm reflecting on everything and I'm extracting every lesson that I possibly can. And I'm growing from this as a 21-year-old, accumulating experience, accumulating life experience and wisdom. And that's what I want. I want to be a wise man so that I can lead others. Lead others to write their own story, create their own success story, be an individual themselves. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do. That's why I have this YouTube channel. That's why I sit here in front of a mic and a camera and I just talk. I like doing it. It gives me an outlet to sit here and talk, inspire some of you guys, motivate some of you guys that I know need to hear this shit. Write your own story, bro. Be an individual. Be you. Be somebody. Write your own story and make it crazy. Make it as crazy as it possibly can be because the depth of your struggles is equivalent to the height of your success. So the harder it is, well, you're going to be, the more successful you will be because the harder shit that you go through, the more resilient you have to be, the stronger you have to be. It just makes sense. It just makes sense. So, monologue out of the way. Let's get into today. Really a quick session. I hate to say it, but I'm really not even kind of, I guess you could say, how do I explain it? I just really don't care. Like I simply don't give a fuck. I'm just coming to the market. I'm doing what I know I need to do. Now read this. The only thing that I did wrong today was I went into the market with a bearish bias, even though everything in the chart was telling me to be bullish, and I knew that, and I still submitted to a bearish bias. So, first thing I'm thinking, we're either going to see a continuation down now that we're on the sell side of the curve, or it could overlap a portion of the previous day range because the drop down was left smooth and we've rebalanced the impulse swing starting on October 23rd. So, what do I mean by this? If we go to the daily, let's zoom out to the daily. Right? We've had this huge impulse swing starting on Thursday, the 23rd, Friday, and we just went up. Then the market consolidated, then it failed. We had a large down day yesterday. Now the market has opened here today and dropped down. Now we've officially rebalanced this impulse swing that we've created, right? Now the market is traded down to a deep discount. We tap the daily order block. Now if I had this annotated in the pre-market session, perhaps I would have had the bullish bias correct easy today. So with that, I'm saying, because of the drop down was left smooth and we've rebalanced the impulse swing started on October 22nd, we could overlap a portion of the previous day range, which is what we've done, right? We have, for the most part, we've overlapped almost the entire candle of yesterday's day range. And then, if we look at the narrative that I'm going to set. Well, first of all, let's look at this. Bearish bias doesn't seem to make sense creating annotations and pointing out all the things that are bullish. So as I am marking up my charts pre-market, looking at the lower time frame, I believe price has already made a low a day. Okay, so if it's already made a low a day, why would I sell short thinking that we're going to go lower? Rebalance the deep discount of the impulse swing. I like how the market has done this, which is bullish. So why are you looking to be a seller? Move lower is high resistance, so it could be fake. Okay, so why are you looking to be a seller? The market is now rebalanced a strong impulse swing, tapped into deep discount. With the way it's traded overnight, it seems the daily candle has already put in a low a day. Looking at the 4 hour, it's hard for me to picture higher prices. Yesterday also forms low resistance buy side on the way down, so that move is potentially fake. Okay, so I'm looking at the chart. Let's go to a 15-minute. That's what I see. What have we done in the Asia session? Right from the 6 o'clock open, we dropped aggressively. We tapped daily order block. Then we had a strong impulse swing back inside the range. Typically, when we have this in the Asia or London session, that marks the low a day. This is clear protraction. Protraction is just a manipulation move in the opposite direction of the real move for that daily candle. Here the market drops, right? Strong impulse swing comes back inside the range. So this tells me this move was fake. Look at the reaction off the daily order block. Consolidated, then again, once more, protraction, dropped lower, cleared the sell stops, laid a body into that pool of liquidity, so I know the damage is done there, so there is no reason if the market wants to go back down there. If the damage is already done, it should turn away from that. And then we created a new impulse swing with new, fresh discount arrays on the hourly time frame. We have that down candle on the hourly, which should act as bullish order block if the market is bullish, and then a new 1 hour buy side imbalance and sell side inefficiency. So the 9 o'clock candle opens here, drops down, rebalances that range that was made pre-market. Look at the 15-minute time frame. Rebalances the discount of that, and then trades higher. Why am I looking for lower prices? Well, on the 1 minute, I look at the impulse swing made after the market dove into that sell side there. I thought this was low resistance, and I simply looked to be a seller because of that. And then looking at the 4 hour, at the time this was setting up, let's go to 4 hour. For me to be bullish, I wanted to see the market drop down first, which it did, and then close higher. And for some reason, I couldn't see the 4 hour candle painting in a way that would do that. It's kind of hard for me to put it into words, but it just doesn't make sense for me to come into the market with a bearish bias. Nothing here is telling me to be bearish. We've had protraction that clearly builds a low in the overnight session. The market also dropped before the AM session and created a new impulse swing off that, but it's low resistance, and price sets up high on the day. So what I was looking for is as price opens high on the day, I want to see if it continued to push up at the open and show premium sensitivity at the new week opening gap for me to be a seller targeting a low resistance liquidity run against pre-market longs. So I think what I was going for here, what I was going for was just a run against this, but everything that I mentioned in the pre-market plan, you know that. Why be bullish? So again, the mistake that I made today, or why be bearish? That's what I meant. I knew to be bullish was bearish instead. Stupidity. The same mistake that I've made many times. So yes, this is a mistake that I continue to repeat, where I'm simply focused on low resistance liquidity, i.e. this, and I look to fade that. I've done this so many times. It's starting to get frustrating for sure. Everything told me to be bullish, but I looked at the 4 hour and smooth sell sign and thought to be bearish. I knew the way price turned back inside the range before the open was bullish. Traction is bullish. Pre-market sell side run and new 1 hour discount raise is bullish. Everything is bullish. I knew that, but chose to be bearish again. Same mistake. So really, the only thing I did wrong was the bias is obvious, and I knew that, but still chose to be bearish. What did I do right? I knew my bias was absolutely incorrect. I know we are not going lower. Looking at the 4 hour and 1 hour, so I knew to be done. And I was, which is good. I just took one loss. Pull up the recording. Here's me this morning. Say good morning. Good morning, Lucas. Good morning. Damn, bro, I'm trying to get that double chin. Been bulking too much. Alright, anyways. Trade that I took. I'll explain why I took this trade. See the short on there. So, obviously this drop down does not last. Look what it left behind. Extremely, extremely smooth. So when the market's turning back inside the range like this pre-market, like it was, if we could look at the 15-minute. Alright, so typically when the market opens high on the day, it should stay up there, open, and continue to trade up, and then fail. But here you can see it turns back inside the range in the last 3 15-minute candles before the open, 8:45, 9 o'clock, 9:15. And the first thing that we do is open, drop down. All we need to do is rebalance this range, drop into the fresh 1 hour discount raise. Does not need to come back down here. Why? Because the damage is already done here. Laid a body into that. The work is done there. Should move away from that. If we look inside yesterday's range, look at all these highs in here that are smooth. Is there anything here that stands out that you think the market should reject as a premium array? Absolutely not. So what does it do? It runs against all that, as we see here. So I know this drop down is faked because on the way down it's high resistance. High resistance meaning it's facing a lot of resistance, trading lower. How do I know that? Because each candle's range overlaps the previous candle's range, and what that leaves behind is really no solid premium array for the market to reject. So that's how I know that this move is potentially fake, and you can see that I've noted that in my pre-market session plan. But I deliberately ignore that, see this, and think, oh, you know what, I'm just going to be a seller because we're opening high in the day, but how it does this, that's not bearish at all. And I note that. The good thing that I did do, though, is I feel like going into today with bearish bias was stupid, considering everything I annotated pre-market told me to be bullish. But of course, looking for sell side low resistance liquidity run again, same mistake over and over. Everything I see it say in pre-market plan is bullish, but I still sell it. Why? It's frustrating. So there, I'm just seriously. I mean, why? You know everything's telling you to be bullish, but you were bearish, and so you got it wrong. The good news is that I kept it at one loss, and that's it. That's it. So, explaining why I took this trade. Saw that the market stayed inside the new day opening gap here. Then we had a down candle following that one. So I was watching the reaction off of this, seeing if this was going to act as a bearish order block. This candle trades up, closed below the open price. The following candle opens, starts to trade down, and I'm noticing that as a familiar formation that leads to a drop down. Sell at the market near here, stop loss at the mean threshold of this, which was honestly too far. Stop loss should have been right there. Could have kept the risk more minimal on this position. And then I just stopped out. I simply traded it in the wrong direction, which is going to happen. But I know why I'm wrong. The important thing is, after you mess up, is you know where you went wrong and you know how to do right next time. The thing is that this is a mistake that I've been repeating for probably a couple of months now. So fools don't learn from the mistakes they make. So continuing to make the same mistake is simply foolish. But it's definitely difficult because bias is subjective and you can frame the market anyway based on what you see and what you annotate. You can make it make sense for you no matter how bullish or bearish it may seem. You could literally frame it just by the drawings you put on the chart and whatever text you put on it. You can make that day bearish 100%. So, I mean, that's basically it for this one. like I said earlier, be somebody. Tell your own story. I'm gonna keep pushing. You know I'm never gonna fucking quit. That's for damn sure. I told myself again. I have a written statement here, right? I wrote this. I don't even know how long ago. I think it might be even a year old. But one of the lines I read this in yesterday's video too is I told myself I am a consistently. Oh, yeah. I told myself I am a consistently profitable trader and did whatever it took there. Whatever it took to get there, no matter how hard it got. I proved to myself and those around me, which probably has a lot to do with the weight that I carry into trading, that I could do it, and it is a feeling like no other. Below that, I have a quote: whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, the hand of man can achieve. All right? So let's walk away with that for today. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, the hand of man can achieve. And I believe I've already done the upfront work necessary to know enough about the market to make money from it. I don't need to learn anything new. I have a model that works. I know it works because I haven't had a... Hold on. Get this out of here. Not that. Go here. Go here. Let's go R multiple. Let's go this. Right, so I haven't been a losing trader since June. I'm not in the red still, even though I cut the P&L in half, more than half. I'm still not in the red, so I still haven't been a losing trader for a long time. Like, I'm there, like I have enough information, enough experience to make money from the market. I think now it's just simply could be the fact that I may be doing too much because all I do is work all day, which is why I think the job at the dealership would be good for me, because now I'm not sitting behind the screens for 12 hours a day, all day, every day, trying to make this shit work. I'm just, letting it happen. I'm just playing out each day as it should. I can come to the market and it's shit, the conditions are shit, and just be like, okay, fuck this, I'm not going to trade, I'm just going to go to work. Something like that. And obviously it'll take the pressure off as well. When I do have money coming in, that'll be good. So I'm not worried about shit. I am not worried about shit. I know that I'm good no matter what. I don't care. Like, I don't give a fuck what I have to go through to get there. I know that I'm going to get there. Wear your scars, bro. Wear them proudly. Carry that pain. It's necessary. Like, you need that shit. Batman is Batman because his parents died. I heard that from an Andrew Tate video or something. The point is that pain is kind of what is actually necessary to push you to where you want to go. Now I have an unlimited source of motivation. Like, she left me before I made it. And I was going to make it. She stopped believing in me. That's a source of motivation. Anytime I go to the fucking gym, I'm pressing that shit and I'm thinking, she fucking left me. She fucking left me. She left me. Like that, bro, literally. It's an unlimited source of motivation. So find some pain in your life. Stop being comfortable. Get up. Get hurt. Get knocked down. Fall on your fucking face. Learn and grow from it. And let's keep moving forward.